Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show. Ladies and gentlemen, don't touch that dial. We have a show here today. It's very important. It has to do with the Norristown area. And it's, I guess the title of this would be, An Informed Nation is a Peaceful Nation. So you want to be informed. And I think that's what we're going to do. It's an information about the studios that are going to move into Norristown. Okay, so I don't know anything other than I met these gentlemen down at City Hall. They made a nice presentation. They got a ovation. Everybody's for it. So, but we want people to know what it's all about. Okay, so is this show here? There's no profanity. There's no nudity. Okay, it's just information. Okay.
All right,
I don't want
here.
anybody to do any striptease or anything. Okay. All right. So here we go. Now I'm going to introduce everybody like they do in Madison Square Garden. In this corner, I want to tell you your name and what you do and what your title.
Sure. I'm Jeffrey Erb, and I'm the CEO of Fever Pitch Pictures and a film producer.
So what's that mean? What do you do?
I make movies.
You make movies.
Make movies.
All right. Well, why'd you say that? I mean, you're bobbing and weaving here. You make movies. All right. So that's in the studio. That's what we're talking about. Right?
Well, yeah, that's correct. I mean, I think when it comes to the studio itself, I'll be bringing a lot of the producers and production companies into the studio to help work through the relationships that I have.
You keep keep the ball bouncing.
Keep it going. Keep it filled.
You're a good-looking guy. You're an actor too.
I've done a little here and there.
Okay. All right. Now, in this corner, tell me who you are and what your title and what you do.
Charles Gallup, and I'm a real estate developer. And what I do is I identify opportunities. And we saw Norristown as an incredible opportunity. I'm a native of Montgomery County.
Good.
And went to Cheltenham High School. And
What school?
Cheltenham.
Oh, okay.
And have lived in and around Norristown all my life. And so answering your question, I am a real estate developer, but what we kind of focus on is opportunities to do meaningfully different redevelopment.
Okay.
So we don't just take a green field, we identify areas that are already developed or maybe underdeveloped, or in this case, where there's an opportunity to do something a little bit better than its current use, and we put all the pieces together. Essentially, we take the vision, we mate the vision with art, and then with science, and with money, we put it all together, and hopefully we end up with a great development.
Okay. Then we get over to the legal point now. Tell us who you are and what you do. You're a lawyer.
I am a lawyer.
Okay.
That's-
You're an attorney.
That too.
Okay.
I'm Marcel Groen. I'm a partner in the law firm of Fox Rothschild.
Big outfit.
It is.
Good
with
outfit.
400 lawyers nationwide.
Right. Right on.
But in this particular case, I'm really proud working with Charles and with Jeff in terms of helping the governmental get the governmental approvals we need in order to be able to renovate Logan Square, to get the film studio there, and also working with the county and the redevelopment authority and with the state so that we have a complete package that we can use in order to make this thing happen. And for me, it's nice to be able to work on something as professionally that also meets with my philosophical desires, which is to help renovate Norristown.
Okay. Now, you gave a presentation at City Hall, which is well received by council, by everybody there. And the one word that you were using, why Norristown? Why Norristown? Why did you come to Norristown? Where you been?
Well, I think...
I give you two questions in one.
All right, two questions in one. Why Norristown is because Norristown, there are three basic rules in real estate. Location, location, and location.
You got that?
And Norristown is one of the best locations in Montgomery County, which is one of the best counties in the state and arguably in the United States. And so when we do this process of redevelopment, we look at where would people want to be? And in looking at that question, Norristown seems to address a lot of those concerns. And what those concerns are, first and foremost, is access. How can I get to this place? And Norristown has access from literally every major road in this part of the region.
422, 202, right?
476.
Turnpike is just a stone throw. And then we
Turnpike.
have something coming in from the Turnpike onto Lafayette Street.
Exactly, and you have, actually you have two different projects. You have the 202 Expressway, which is a planned connection from Delaware all the way through to New Jersey on Route 202, and actually stops and becomes Markley Street in Norristown, and then continues as an expressway once you get out of Norristown. And that is a project that has been advanced, is in final design, and is very close to reality. You also have a proposed ramp from the Turnpike, Lafayette Street. And everyone, both in the municipality and in the county and in the state and on the Turnpike Commission, are all very engaged about that. So you have east-west and you have north-south. And so the question is, can people who would want to work here and people who would want to come
Right.
here get here easily? The answer is absolutely.
Well, I remember I had Commissioner Matthew, County Commissioner here, and he said that Norristown is like a jewel. It's lays between Philadelphia and Gettysburg, which is the corridor, and for history. And so, by you coming in here is really making the garden bloom.
Right, we have the opportunity to polish the stone.
Right.
That's kind of how we view that all of the good opportunities, and a lot of hard work, by the way, has been done in Norristown already. You have several projects. You have a project that was done by the state in putting in DEP regional headquarters. It's very successful.
Where's that?
The DEP regional headquarters is right across the street
Main
from,
Suite Street.
from the
Right.
courthouse
Oh, okay.
on Main
Yeah,
Street.
State Building, you're right.
You have Governor Rendell and the municipality of the county recently broke ground on a new parking
Main and
garage.
Cherry Street. I
Correct.
was a policeman here in Norristown for 24 years.
There you go.
So I walk the beat, I know what it's all about. We're the county seat, and, people come from all over. They had to come to the courthouse and the hospital, and I hope the hospital don't move out. They're bobbing and weaving on that, but that's something else. But they're building that parking garage on Main and Swede. They're building a parking lot at Lafayette DeKalb, big, SEPTA, right?
Right.
Now, why would you build a parking lot if people are not going to come in? People coming in, there must be something up there.
In fact, Hank,
Somebody up there likes us.
the largest, Norristown probably has the best suburban transit hub of anywhere in the suburbs.
Right.
You have buses, you have trains.
We got a train, we got the bus station there, right? there, at
Absolutely.
Lafayette and Swede.
Right.
Major, we got a bike path too, if you want to come in town with a bicycle.
Right, you can actually
We got a
go-
river if you want to swim in too.
You can take a boat.
Right.
You can take a
Boat.
plane. You can take a helicopter.
Yeah,
You know,
right,
you
they got a
have
helicopter in the corner at the Suburban Hospital. They got a landing on the Swede and across the street from the courthouse, a landing up there if you want it, the wind don't blow it off. I know.
Right. And you also have Wings Field, so that
Yes,
people
that's-
want
yeah,
to
right,
come
yeah,
in
right
on
outside
an
the airport, yeah.
airplane. And obviously, as part of a potential redevelopment as a movie studio, it's important to be able to get people in and get people out. And on the mass transit side, the most difficult part of any studio is how do you bring people in who want to work there? And that's having that public transportation option, and especially since part of what we're planning is to have a vocational school where we could bring students from local area high schools.
Hey, you're right here. We're
That's
right
right.
at Norristown High School. This is Norristown High School studio here, so don't forget the home team.
That's what I said,
Okay.
local
All right.
schools, the county
In fact, I was
college.
talking to the principal, come over, he wants to meet you before you go.
Okay.
And they have an art and cultural thing here. And the director that shows, a school teacher, he has it showed here, the Cultural Center, which shows on, good show. People come all the way from Philly to see the show here. It only holds 75 people, but it's a good show. I pay $60 to sit down in a theater in Philadelphia. The seat was broken, and I'm sitting there, $60. Here, I got a ringside seat and see a good show.
Well, and it'll be an opportunity for students here and the community college to be able to actually work on a movie set. And that's practical experience is what really helps people learn.
But now you,
Yes, sir.
go to the lawyer.
Okay,
What are you going to do? You're going to keep this thing going or what?
absolutely.
You got to
Look,
keep the people informed, because some people say, well, you know, get rid of these doubters. So what do you do for this? What
Well,
do you do?
look, I mean, you asked for why Norristown. One of the other reasons why Norristown is because you've got a government body that
Very cooperative.
that's cooperative, that wants to do the right thing,
Right.
that makes it possible for all of this to happen. You've got county government that's willing to help out. You've got a redevelopment authority. You've got the state. Everybody's focused.
Right.
The good thing is this is the first real time that there's going to be a private-public partnership.
Yeah.
So far, it's been the public part.
Wait, you said private partnership. Explain that. What do you mean
Well,
by
what's
that?
going-
So people are going to, after the show, they're going to be walking down Main Street and going to say, hey, Cisco, what do you mean by that? You
What-
tell them.
All right, what I mean with that is that in order to make this happen, Charles is going to, and Jeff are going to be the private part of the partnership. They're going to put their efforts and their time and their money into that. But in order to make it happen, we also need help from the local municipality and from the county and from the state, and that makes it a private-public partnership. Up to this point, while there have been a number of attempts to help and revitalize Norristown, for the most part, it has been the public part. It has been the government that has stepped in, like with the DEP building, with the parking garages.
Right.
The private portion of that's been missing. There have been some attempts, but they haven't really gone very far. The nice thing about this is really the first time where a private developer stepped up and says, I'm going to Norristown. I want to be here. I want to make it happen. I'm going to do more than my share, but government, I need your help. That's what I mean with partnership.
Well, you know, they got developers. I don't know. My whole life has been law enforcement, okay? I put 24 years with Norristown, another 13 with the DA's office, a county detective. And so here I see Country Hawk, and my father had a shoemaker shop on Main and DeKalb Street. People from Country Hawk just bring their shoes in to get their shoes fixed. They used to come here for everything, right? Now, they're big shots. You know, they got this, they got the hotel, and here we are, we're bobbing and weaving in the county seat. And then Country Hawk, and then Manayunk comes up. Oh, they got this, they got the waterfront. We have 3.5 miles of waterfront. Country Hawk has maybe a mile, mile and a half. Manayunk has maybe a mile, mile and a half. We have a lot here. We got everything going for it. And, you know, so whoever's your research guy, you look here, you see Norristown, and Norristown should be proud.
It's
And
true.
they are.
It's very centrally located because regardless of the type of environment that you want to film in, you have it in very, very close proximity to Norristown. You're very close to the city if you want to shoot in a inner city environment. You're very close to farms, forests.
Right.
Pretty much any environment that you could possibly want is within minutes of Norristown. So it's an ideal location from that perspective, from a filmmaker's point of view.
And you're behind the camera. How about this? How you like his studio? Isn't this
This is
pretty
great.
good, isn't it?
It's tremendous.
Really
It's
beautiful.
great.
Now,
Okay.
think about it, Hank. Where was Conshohocken 10 years ago? Conshohocken has come a long way, and a big part of that is access, and a big part of it was that there was a private individual who was willing to invest, who was willing to work with the municipality to convert areas that were underdeveloped along the river. And I think that, you know, what Marcel said is true, because in order to achieve redevelopment, first of all, I think it's important to understand that redevelopment and revitalization is a bipartisan issue. Everybody is in favor of revitalization of Norristown. And I think that there are very few times, and I think the most important part of that bipartisan issue is that the citizens, the
Yeah.
community,
Right.
has to be behind it. Because what we talked about in our prior meeting was that the municipality is a great municipality, the leaders have vision, and they want to do good work. But as you know, we had almost 100 people out at the meeting,
Right.
and they supported it. And that's where the strength of any development comes. Because it's not a private developer that owns redevelopment. It's the municipality and the community. And so our focus is, how do we actually do something that's beneficial and sustainable, that's going to create something not just for today, but for tomorrow.
Right.
And so it is really important to focus on the community and make sure that what we're doing is embraced by the
And if
Well, let
community.
me say, I like the way you handle it, okay? You know how to bob and weave, and, it's like a fighter, you slip, slipping punches.
You'd like to think he's more
Yeah.
head-on.
Yeah,
than
yeah,
Bob.
well, yeah, he can punch, good fighter, like, he sticks and moves, One gentleman, after it was all over, got up, and he had a concern. And I like the way you handle it. You didn't get mad at him or anything. You said, look, we will meet with you, and that's, and he calmed down. I thought, well, he was going to get all upset about it, but this is one thing that you explained. I forget how you said it, but how you're going to operate. Now, somebody that's borders,
Well,
there's no noise, you're inside.
Right, what I said is the way we,
Tell me how you,
the way we
I
do
want
de-
everybody to, if you're concerned about something, listen.
the way,
Call your aunt or uncle, tell them, hey, get on here. Go
the
ahead.
way we do development is we build consensus. And we don't just talk about it, we do it. What does that mean? It means that we actually meet. We focus on meeting with each member of the community, each neighbor. How is a potential development going to look? How is it going to affect the way they live? What are the traffic impacts going to be? And through a development process, there are people that live in Norristown. They know what the issues are.
Right.
We're coming here and we want to learn from them. And so a gentleman
Yeah, but
had,
you're not from way out, you're from
No.
Montgomery County, so you're really not a
Absolutely.
fly-by-night outfit. And I want to know a little bit more about some of the track record you have. Go ahead.
right, we have been very active in Montgomery County. We developed a Home Depot in Willow Grove at the Turnpike. It was a former printing plant.
What was it?
It was an abandoned printing plant.
Oh, yeah?
And then we acquired some additional ground, and then we were able to work with the Turnpike Commission to redo the interchange and to improve access and to widen 611. And we worked hand in hand with the state, we worked with the Turnpike, we worked with the DOT, and we worked with Upper Moreland, which was a very, very cooperative municipality. And what we were able to do there is build a brand new Home Depot, and we actually have 2 additional restaurants coming, and we've integrated all of that with the existing Marriott. So that came out great. And then we bought, because some of the concern was, well, what's going to actually happen to the old Home Depot? Because part of the municipality's concern was, well, it's great, we're happy to have a new one, but we don't want an abandoned building in our
Right,
downtown.
Right. We're going to do it the empty
As,
building.
as the member, as Norristown as a community would know, having a vacant building isn't a great thing to have. And so we kind of set out to learn what did the community want, and what they actually wanted most was a supermarket, because Upper Moreland, even though it was a very big
Was that-
community, did not have a supermarket in that community.
We had one here, but we're working on another outfit. I don't want to name the outfit, but we're helping, considering moving another in Norristown, so I don't want to disclose on that.
Right.
I'm bobbing and weaving with that,
Gotcha.
But when they hear, people are going to come in. But let me say this, I'm 83 years old. I've been around a little bit. I've refereed professional fights. I fought amateur professional. I was a stablemate of Rocky Marciano. And I find through living my life that all sunshine makes deserts, okay? You got to have the rain and the snow and the hail, and that's, you're going to get that when you come in Norristown, see? But you're going to have a beautiful garden when it's all over, because if you want everything to be right and everybody, you'll be on the desert, all sunshine, right? And who lives in the desert? Nobody,
Well,
right?
hard work.
So you know how to handle it, right?
Yeah, nothing worth having is easy.
Right, right.
And, Norristown has had some difficult challenges,
Right.
okay? But it's also had some great successes.
Right.
And, what we have committed, and I think it's very important, we've committed to Norristown. We haven't said, we want to do a movie studio, but we may do it here, we may do it there.
You come right in.
We've said to Montgomery County.
All right hands,
We're
no jabs.
Right, we're here.
All pow,
That's right.
and alabanza.
We're going to do it. And Norristown and the county has embraced us. But what is also very important is there are other people that want movie studios. And we think that there is room for other studios. But what we really, really want to accomplish is to be the first.
Right.
Because in anything.
You want to be first,
Exactly.
right.
We want to
It's
finish
the same thing,
first.
you know, who was the first one to fly over the Atlantic Ocean? Lindbergh. Who was the second? Who knows? Who cares?
Exactly.
Nobody knows. Number one, first, right?
Absolutely.
You're a lawyer, you should know that, right?
Well, look, I mean, understand that the
You bounce on it, you know,
that's okay. The movie studio is part of it. There's still going to be shops there. There are going to be restaurants there. I mean, I don't know if people realize, we're talking about a 100,000 square foot studio here. We're talking about 8 sound stages. We're talking about employing anywhere from 200 to 500 people on a full-time basis, and then adding a couple of hundred part-time jobs. So not only is it going to be a movie studio, not only is it going to put Norristown on the map, but it's going to add real human infrastructure.
Right.
And the nice part about the meeting that we had, I have to tell you from a lawyer's perspective, I do not remember the last time that I or a client of mine made a presentation and we got applause when it was over.
you're right.
I've had
you're right.
boos, but not too much
Right,
applause.
right, and then the council was all for it. In fact, I talked to a couple, we had a concert at the park Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
the Verdi's band, you know, it's been Italian band, played for years and years. So, you know, and the people were there and the council got up and talked about the meeting they had and everybody applauds right there at the studio.
You know, Hank, one of the important things too to talk about is there have been some concerns by neighbors and by existing tenants as to, you know, what happens to us. I want to be very, very clear that our plan does not displace any tenants. Our plan is,
You're not chasing anybody out.
we're not chasing
No.
anybody out. We're not trying to take what's great about Norristown and Logan Square and break it. We're trying to take what's great about Norristown and Logan Square and make it better.
Right, right.
And so in the process of doing that, we need to make sure that the people who have been committed to Norristown and worked here, and there are some people in Logan Square that have been there for 40 years. We're not about to try and displace them. We want to take their business, which we understand is pretty good, and make it better. And I think that, you know, I've read a few articles in the local paper that some of the merchants are actually very excited,
Sure.
that they see huge opportunities. And I think that, you know, the misnomer that there's going to be a huge impact on traffic, I mean, that is a shopping center that was built to have a big store in it.
Right.
There is no store there.
No.
So we're going to take the vacant space and we're going to reuse it. We're going to build some additional space. We hope to bring in a hotel, which is a use that doesn't exist there. Add to...
A hotel, right?
Correct. Add to some of the existing dining choices, because, you know, one thing that we think is there's a lot of opportunity to grow restaurants, because there's not a lot of choices in the restaurant world in Norristown.
Well, let me put the thing on the table, you know. I live here. I only live a block away from the studio. I live on Powell Street, it's one block over. And the image of Norristown and the perception of, you know, Norristown, and the crime, this, that, and the other thing. But let me say this. That's what people think, you know. But we have a good police department, okay? Got Chief Bono, good. We got a good police department, up to date. And I think, and they're enthused about this, you know. And we're going to change the image of Norristown. And we have people like you coming in, and then what you're going to draw, business people, you know. And that's going to be a big plus. I'm myself, I know my wife, all my relations, everybody I talk to, you know. And before I said, I'm going to interview the guy. I said, you don't know why I say guys, you know, the fellow at the top. You know. And they're all excited about it, you know. And I told them, when's the show going to be on? When's the show? We don't have a date yet, but it'll be in the paper. The newspaper's behind it, you know, Dan Husky. So, you know, I just think you're going to be in the studio itself, right?
Yeah, we'll be in the studio. In the studio itself, and also, you know, bringing other productions into the studio.
Yeah. I want to talk about that a little later,
Sure.
okay? But I want the whole operation on this thing, you know. So,
Well, I think one of the things that, leading off of something that Charles said with regards to some of the questions that were brought about regarding traffic is important to note, because with a film production, they're traditionally working between 12 and 16 hours. So there's really not that much conflict with regards to traffic patterns compared to what people I think normally get up and go to work, because the traffic that we're dealing with is at very unusual hours of the day when things are going in and out of the.
Well, let me say this. Our time is up on this, but we've got a lot more to talk about. Stay tuned. Don't move. You want to go to the little boys' room? Go to the boys' room. You want to get a little snack or something? And then come back, because we're going to talk about the operation, okay? So we have a lot more to talk about until we get our, in Italian style, come on, get your, they would say, alla salute, okay?
Salute.
That means
Alla
for your
salute.
health, and that's what we're going to do. Everybody's for good health. Alla salute, right? And we'll be back. Stay tuned.